Tell them your name.
Johanna Medranda.
Yeah, stand-up comedian.
That's the one. Yeah. Yep. Showrunner, producer, booker, and stand-up comedian and podcaster.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Is her mic good? Does it sound good?
Yeah, everything's on. Everything's good.
All right, I just want to make
Good
sure
to
the
go?
position and whatnot.
Yeah. My voice tends to carry like very softly, so y'all
Okay.
let me know if my levels are a little out of whack.
All right, cool. So you said that you have the podcast. I didn't even know that. You want to tell me about that?
It's called Each Other's Mothers Podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's me and my girl Stella, and I'm queer and she's trans, and I guess we're both queer. So like we just like talk about our lifestyles, and then we also talk about like pop culture and what's going on in the news.
Okay.
Like as far as like TMZ, just like the ridiculousness of celebrities, and
Okay.
like, and then we also have guests on that we'll interview about like their sexualities and their relationships, and just like any funny we'll have on just to like talk and go back and forth, and it's been fun.
So you're saying like you might bring someone who's more inclined to being a funny man, but do you stick to those sexual questions or whatever?
Yeah, so
Identity?
it kind of has gone through its own little identity crisis from here and there, because we have a season 1 and season 2, and now we're on to season 3.
Okay.
So I started with 2 other comedians, and then one of them fell off because she gave up on having fun, and she found sobriety, and she was like, I gotta go.
Oh, I can't be funny anymore.
Can't be funny anymore. I gotta go. You know, I'm going with God. And
Me and the Lord.
so annoying.
And laughs are done.
The laughs are done. No jokes. And she retired, or they retired. Yeah. It was a whole thing. But then it was me and my girl Connor, who's also a stand-up, also was like booking the independent comedy club with me. Best friend, ride or die, roommate, like comedy sister, whatever. So her and I were just like talking shit, right? And the whole basis of the podcast was to have women on to talk about, you know, how like women tend to like mother each other. But then we'd also ask questions like, I want to know like when and how you lost your virginity. Like talk about the day you started your period. Like let's like talk about a time we our pants. Like, you know, just like trying to bring almost like light to the fact that women are just as as men.
Okay.
You know, and
Okay.
just like kind of like talking about like, let's talk about some embarrassing, but like make it real.
Okay.
And just make it funny along the way, right? So it's still like a little bit of that. I have recently had some really close friends on. They are lesbians. They're married, recently married in October. And we like talked to them about boundaries with family members, but also sex toys and also relationship advice. So the podcast kind of like encompasses a lot of things.
Yeah.
We try to just be like super human and super funny about it,
Okay.
you know?
But it seems like it keeps a sex base, right?
Yeah.
Not necessarily having sex, but sexuality or
Sure.
boundaries or relationship.
Yeah,
Like,
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, it's
That's
advertised as a comedy podcast, but
Oh, okay.
you know, if you will, like, yeah, there is a lot of sex talk in there.
I might throw a little culture on there, you know?
Yeah, why not, right?
I mean,
Well,
I think comedy is one of the hardest actually because, SEO, like statistically, there's a lot of high competition on it.
Right,
So when you throw a little culture on there, I
Right.
think it might.
100%. I mean, I always be talking about that shit anyway, you know, like, it just runs through me, in me, all that shit, you know, so that's without saying, but we're also racist, so.
Oh, you're racist?
Yeah, super.
We're racist too. I love that.
Amazing.
That's so good to hear.
Yeah,
That's
super
and
racist.
all right. So that's another thing because the first time I met you, you're doing stand up, right?
Yeah.
And are you Mexican?
I'm Peruvian.
Peruvian.
Yeah.
Right. You were making Mexican
Fancier
jokes
Mexican.
though, weren't you?
Yeah, because if I say to
I know.
a crowd,
I know.
you already know, bro. You already know what the I'm about to say. If I say to a crowd, especially like we live in Michigan, you know, they're predominantly white or they're predominantly black, especially in Detroit. So like, you tell these people like, yeah, I'm Peruvian. They'll be like, this bitch is Persian. This
They're
bitch
like,
is like,
what?
where's that? Where's that
Yeah.
at? You know what I mean? Thinking that I'm like from Gullah Gullah Island or something. Like, no, it's in South America. It's on the West Coast. It's above Chile, right underneath Ecuador. They're like, Ecuador who? You know, they just don't know. So I just, for the simple-minded people out there, I just say, hey, you know, I'm Mexican. Now let's make some Mexican jokes so we can all be on the same page.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I tried to like talk about being Peruvian.
It will never work.
You know what
no,
I'm
no, trust me.
saying?
I get it.
And when I do longer sets, maybe later on in the set, I'll let them know, like, okay, I'm actually blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And that's more like if I'm doing 30-minute sets and I'm telling stories about my family or stories about being an immigrant, like all these things. And that's when I try to make it make sense. But it's also like, all right, you guys are smart enough to understand. Let's go there.
And then do you fill them in during? Because that's where I think like people might not know a Peruvian like stereotype or something.
Right.
And that's where I can see where you just say Mexican.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just makes it easier for everybody involved.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
Usually talking to a lot of drunk people too. So, you know.
100%.
Gotta hold their little hand through that.
Yeah. I remember I was doing like, I was like working on my material with like in a little room with a bunch of other comedians. Like they're just watching you, you know what I mean? You're trying to get laughs or something. And I was saying some joke about like being always be like I was black, but I was picked last every single time playing basketball because I was so fat growing up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like the guy, like when I was done or whatever, he was like, but you're Dominican. Why is it basketball? Shouldn't it be baseball? And I'm like, yeah, dude, but it don't. I'm like, yeah. But it don't work. You don't get it.
Right.
Like it don't get the pop that the other one gets. So
regardless, I still gotta run and I'm still fat. So why does it matter about the sport, bro?
Right.
Chill.
I just wanted to say, because you did say you're Mexican, that it wasn't like she told me she was Peruvian. I was like, so you're Mexican, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah, I would have went right along with it. My mom hates it. She's like, why you gotta tell people we're Mexican? Like all pissed off, and I'm like, because you know, Hispanic people are racist against each other. Oh yeah. All the time. Newsflash, white people, we don't really like each other. You know, and I hate to tell you, but you know this, like islanders
we don't like
especially.
Each other. Oh no.
You know what I'm saying? Like the people that are on the continent, they islanders for whatever reason. I will never understand it. I don't get it. I'm over here like if you're brown or black, with you heavy.
Yeah.
No offense over here, but you know.
Right. I mean, I like them when they're white. Even, you know, I like them. But I see what you're saying for sure.
Yeah.
But it's all also just cultural differences and stuff because, like, I don't know what you've seen, but like people all the time, like black and Dominican. That's a whole thing where people will just think you're African American. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you get lumped in with that.
Right.
Or you might lump yourself in with that and make some jokes with that.
Totally.
And then it goes the other way. With like a bunch of Dominicans saying like, why are you doing that? Why are you talking like that?
Right.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's the same bull stuff.
Bull stuff?
Yeah, because the first 15 minutes, that's that monetization moment.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to drop the swears.
You got to beat me out. I think I already swore.
Oh, I will.
Yeah.
But I still want to I don't want to add more.
Yeah, going straight to HE double hockey sticks, bro.
Yeah, and you know what? It makes it funnier when you try.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you're like, these lint liquors.
Yeah, exactly.
No, dude.
Exactly. Yep.
You got to get more creative when you cut the swears.
Oh, man.
But, all right. So I wanted to ask you, first off, where you grow up, when did you first start in comedy?
Okay, I was born in Peru, and then I moved to California for a little bit, and then I moved to Michigan when I was 4.
Where in California?
Topanga.
Topanga.
Yeah, I lived in Topanga. It's like a suburb of LA.
So I'm not sure your age. Have you heard of Boy Meets World, though?
Of course.
Do you remember Topanga?
Of course.
So
yeah.
I just want to make that connection.
Yeah, my whole life when people are like, where are you from? You know, I'd say that, and they were like, oh, she's fine. I'm like, I know, she's fine as hell.
So fine.
So hot, dude. I was like, okay, yeah, I might be a little gay.
Oh, yeah, you're
like
gay.
6.
I kind of like that. That's kind of cool because we can both be like, that she is fine. You know, we can relate on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
finest white girl I think I've ever seen.
For sure,
you know
right?
what I mean? And that was before they were like buying their lips and
she was thick.
She was
stacked.
Yeah, she was stacked as and she had that beautiful hair. And it was real.
Oh man. Now. What is people that are like
they don't make white chicks like that anymore.
They make them now.
Yeah, they
create
them now.
Through birthing, you mean?
Yeah.
Yep. Dead.
Through the canal.
For sure.
Yeah. But then in Michigan I grew up in for a little bit. I did the full-on immigrant experience. And
nice.
I lived in my white uncle's basement of his lake house for first couple years while my mom was like learning English and working like third shift making donuts at a Farmer Jack.
Okay.
So then we moved to because we live on the border of and which isn't too far from here. Y'all have me out sticks right now. I'm like, damn.
This is your stomping grounds.
Listen, I have not been on a dirt road in so long, bro.
Yo, if you grew up in you've been You've been here.
Let me just paint the scene for the listeners. I pulled up in the driveway and dropped my location to my girlfriend just in case I got murdered out here.
No, not that.
I'm pulling up to this. Okay, all right.
But now that you know it's not like that, isn't it kind of like, well, look how safe this is? It's more like
super safe. This is great.
It's like Walking Dead compound.
Yeah, I saw a lizard. I was like, all right, they're keeping things alive. I'm all right. Yeah, it's gonna be okay. Too. Yeah, he's a sexy boy. But yeah, I grew up in. But I hated going to high school there. I was like one of the very few brown people that, was predominantly white. I would say like middle to upper class to like super rich. And I wasn't living like that. I lived in like the ghetto of, yes, there is a ghetto of.
Like the apartment here?
Water apartment in Sashba. And I hung out in Pontiac. I hung out in like Lake Orion. I didn't really hang out like that because I was like, I don't want to hang out with these white people. Like, because they just weren't like the way that I wanted to like smoke cigarettes when I was 13. I wanted to like, I was already drinking and shit. I was a bad kid. So like, I didn't really vibe with the like football players and the hockey players until later on.
Right.
Yeah. And then I realized like, okay, these people are good people. I need to relax.
Yeah.
And when I was like junior year, I started kicking it with these cool like rich kids.
Because you were actually being the bad one.
Yeah,
they were being good.
Right. But then there like I would like start to hang out with these like richer kids or whatever, and then they would do bad, and then I would get in trouble for it or blamed for it. Like, you gotta stop hanging out with blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, we linked up because they were already doing it.
Thousands of years they've been doing it.
Generational.
Yeah.
They
saw you and you were a mark.
That's right.
They're like, let's get her, dude.
Yeah.
Every single time we get in trouble, it's going on her.
Yeah, dude. I was hanging out with these little girls were like 14 years old. They're like, do you want to sneak out? Let's sneak out. And I'm like, okay, when we got caught. And we got caught. And they were like, you can't hang out with Johanna anymore. She's a bad influence. I'm like.
They all blamed you.
Yeah.
Right away.
I'm like, they've been sneaking out that window for years, bro.
Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy. Yep.
I don't have any children, but I know one thing. I'm not gonna be the blame the other. I don't understand that parent who's right away, oh, it couldn't be my kid.
Right.
Oh, your kid's a piece of trash.
Yeah.
Like, how do you have that thought right away?
That's crazy.
Yeah. Come on now.
And it makes me think, are they lying to themselves or are they believe it?
They just can't, they don't know how to take accountability, I think.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? Like, take a little bit of responsibility and like, hey, maybe you had a little bit too many outbursts as a frustrated parent, and then you picked them up. Just because you guys aren't poor doesn't mean that you don't have problems.
Do they know, though? Like, before they go to sleep at night, when they're killing their Newport, they're sucking down the Jack Daniels to get through the pain in the trunk. Do they know? Or that's what I'm asking. Or, like, do they not know?
I don't think they know. I don't think they know. Yeah. And the Newports and the Jack Daniels, that I was not hanging out. Like, I was hanging out with, like, people who had parents who went to their games. Okay. And people who, like, supported them and were, like, pushing them to be on student council. And, like, their parents would come do the, the fucking bake-offs and all that shit.
PTA meetings.
PTA meetings, like, I didn't let my mom go to PTA meetings.
You didn't?
I wouldn't tell her about it.
Oh, smart.
Absolutely not.
Right. Right.
But that was more of, like, I was always under, like, a microscope because I was an immigrant. I was like the kid who like grew up speaking Spanish. Yeah. And they were like, look at this voter. She's weird as hell. Like, they didn't understand me. You know what I mean? So then I was like, I'm not going to bring my mom and her fucking maracas to the PTA meeting. I'm not going to let her come through here. You know what I mean?
Well, so is there a language barrier though? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, a little bit. Like, she still has a really thick accent. Mostly when I was like in elementary school, she wasn't really speaking that good of English, but when I got into high school and stuff, she was already on her way. Like, she was doing it.
But we're talking like 13 in the story, though? Of the sneaking outs and stuff?
Yeah, I was young.
She's speaking great English or not so good?
Not so good.
So you can hide and kind of lie stuff, right? Because she ain't reading all the paperwork and stuff.
Yeah. I was lying off like for my whole career, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what makes me such a good stand-up.
All right. Yeah. You are a good stand-up. I saw you. I thought you were hilarious.
Thank you.
For real.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
That did sound very that I just called myself a good stand-up, but
no, you are though, for sure.
Yeah, I didn't mean it.
But how'd you get the comedy start?
Honestly, my friend, shout out to Snitchler, she forced me to do a set at this like all female, whatever, non-binary event where there was like magicians and DJs and like poetry readings and like all this crazy shit. And I was the only stand-up on there, but she basically was like, I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but Rad Girls Club was like this major group in Detroit for a long time. They're no longer, but they used to put on events at like the Tangent and like these like punk rock kind of venues that were a little underground. Okay. And this is one of those events, right? And like, so she was kind of in with these women, and she was like, yo,
if you guys are interested in increasing the dopamine in your brain, right, for an affordable cost, why don't you make sure that you get it from Kratom Spot? That's right, ladies and gentlemen. KratomSpot.com is the most affordable place to get your Kratom. If you're interested in utilizing Kratom, right, and if you don't use it now, don't start using it. We're not promoting that. But if you like to go to a gas station and waste your money, spend extra bucks, quit doing that and go online and go to KratomSpot.com. All right? Use Kratom Spot.
Like you've been talking about doing stand-up since you were 15. Like, it's time. And
you hadn't done it yet?
No, I hadn't done it yet. This is my first set.
Ooh.
And they were like, you got 7 minutes. And I went home and like wrote my little dick off and went up there for 7. I took 3 shots of tequila, got on stage. It went decent enough for me to be like, all right, I think I can actually do this, you know? And like every single stand-up, when they first, we're delusional as fuck, you know? So like that delusion really set in. And then I'm also like this like immigrant who is in like constant survival mode, right? So I'm like, oh, let's monetize this. Let's start producing shows. Let's do that.
Is that bad to you? That's how I am.
You know?
That's what I do all the time.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
Is that bad?
No, I think it's great.
Okay. You said it in a way that...
You labeled it negatively.
I'm telling you, I'm going to run that tape back. You're going to see. You'll be like, oh, that did sound like I meant a bad thing.
Yeah, I'd be labeling everything negatively.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's good that you want to make money off the rip. No, I want to make money off the rip.
Yeah. So I just like kind of hit the ground running and started a production company. I called it Honorary Mentions Comedy. I hired a graphic designer. I hired like an event planner to like help me out and shit. And I was putting up pop-up shows within like 4 months of me starting stand-up. And now I'm 5 years later, I'm like running a whole ass comedy club. It's like kind of nuts how it happens. And
independent, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how I got into it. Literally, a friend was like, pushed me to do it. Did 7-minute set. The rest is history.
You're hooked.
I was hooked.
You got some chuckles?
Yeah, I got some chuckles, bro.
So, by the way, I don't think everyone is delusional because from my first time, I recorded it. I allowed no delusion. Because I definitely am delusional.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to see like how bad certain... And I'm so glad I did, though.
Yeah.
Because you know what I noticed on my first time? First off, I've only done stand-up 6 times.
Okay.
6 times. And that's it.
What's going on?
I don't know. I need to do more.
Do you live out here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's probably why.
No.
This doesn't have a scene out here.
Yeah, I just drive to Detroit.
Okay.
I mean, I live not right here. I'm not gonna say exactly where I live.
Right, sure.
But I will tell you after this. I don't care about that. But I'm not gonna say
for sure.
But no, that's not true at all. Because I have a list of all of the clubs and then like open mic nights and then like headliners when they're coming in and stuff. That's not true. That's not true. What's going on? I don't have a good answer. I don't know. I did an improv show like maybe like 4 months back. And it was so much fun, dude.
Where was it at?
Oh, dude. So at least he claimed, I don't know, but he said it was the first like inside smoking establishment for marijuana comedy club.
Oh.
And you asked where it's at. I think I was in Warren. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
To be honest with you.
Damn, I haven't heard of that. That's crazy.
It was so cool though, right? So everyone in the audience smoking weed, like
they were receptive to like what the fuck was going on.
The thing?
The audience, like they were having a good time.
They were so tuned into it.
Okay, that makes me really happy.
Yeah,
I've done sets in front of high people or like at like weed events and shit, and it's like pulling teeth.
Is it?
Yeah, because they're just so high that they're just like.
That's because it's a weed event.
You know, like
that's a weed event.
It takes like a minute,
right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, even I've done like sets at like dispensaries or smoking clubs. Like,
how are the seats facing?
Pretty strangely, I guess you would say. Yeah, they're not in rows.
So that's the problem.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you let them table up while they're smoking, it's gonna be
That's what it is.
It's a barbecue now.
Sure.
Yep.
Sure.
So they were all allowed to speak first, because the way it worked was like all the comics in the back or whatever, you have to smoke 200 joints before you go on, because it's a game and they're engaged in the game. So now they have to pay attention. They're trying to figure out who is the high person. And each high person, when they guess, like we do our thing,
Okay.
you're out.
Interesting.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
And it's an improv thing?
Yeah. I don't know any other kind of improv. Is there any other? I don't know. What I'm saying is, that's all I know.
Okay.
So it's like all these little, it's like Wild and Out. You seen Wild and Out?
Yeah, of course.
It's whiter Wild and Out. Arabic white.
Sure.
I don't know. I'm kind of being, that's not true.
You did say Warren, so that makes sense.
But like I'm being more, there was a lot of black people there.
Yeah, of course.
There was like 4 black girls.
Okay. And how did you place? Did you get kicked out?
Nah, dude. I was
You made
second.
Oh, damn. Were you the high one? Or
Everyone's high but one person.
Oh, I was thinking reverse. Okay.
Yeah. And they're voting people off, guessing who's high.
That sounds so fun.
Oh yeah, it was great, dude.
You should do it again.
I know he paid me like I need to do it again.
Yeah.
But here's the kicker, dude. I've never done bad. Every time I perform, I've always done good. But I'm super scared the whole time, and I don't like that scared feeling.
Yeah.
And then I quit doing it because like I get a really good response online.
Yeah.
So that's I'm a pussy, dude. I'm a pussy. That's really what it is, to be honest with you. Like I don't really know how to explain it. I've never had it go bad.
Yeah.
I had 2 bad like times. My first one, I said a joke about like fucking white girls because I went to school in Howell.
Oh, damn.
You know what I mean?
You made it out alive, bro?
Yeah, bro. Fuck a lot
They
of
don't
white
give a
girls there.
fuck if you're Dominican or not.
I made it out alive.
Damn.
Yeah.
Good for you. It was those dimples. Yeah. They got you through.
But the black girls did not like that joke. So I set up, knock it.
Yeah, but black girls don't like nothing.
Yeah, but it was it was in Hamtramck. It was at Trixie's, I think. And there's just mostly just those few black girls. And like comics.
Sure.
I don't know, but I did not respond well.
And that makes you not want to do it again? Because you hated that feeling?
Is that what's going on?
I think so.
Are we identifying it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say no. Because this is the first time I've really broke it down like this, I think,
Sure.
verbally.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You don't spend a lot of time with women, I see.
No.
We're all like, tell me about how you're feeling, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
I think that you got to get through it. That's it. You're going to be bad for a long time. I was bad for a long time. You know? I bombed probably 2 weeks ago, and I'm 5 years in. You bomb all the time. Professionals bomb.
I don't know.
Dave Chappelle got booed out of Detroit. You know that.
I know.
Okay, come on now.
I don't know. I don't
Do
have
it
a good
again.
answer.
If you like it, and if it makes you happy, and if you consider yourself a comic, you should do more stand-up.
I mean, I like that he paid me money. You smoke a lot of free weed.
Yeah.
I almost won it. I only bombed one part of that show.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I only do a little bomb part.
Right.
And by the way, that white girl joke killed in Canton. Room full of whites.
Yeah, of course.
So it's a good joke is what I'm saying. She had a bias. That's all I'm saying. It's a bias. Like,
Well, that's how it goes. Every single show has too many factors that play into it and in order for it to always go well. You know what I'm saying? But then there's also situations where, like, I've told the same jokes in front of different crowds. Like, I'll do black rooms. Sometimes it kills. Sometimes it doesn't. But it's the same shit in white rooms, too.
Doesn't that kill you? It's like, because don't you feel you're trying to get the data right? Like, you're working on the set. You're trying to get the data right. You're refining, and then you go and... I'm not
gonna lie to you. Stand-up comedy, like, if you are really in it and you really want to become a professional stand-up comedian one day, you sell your motherfucking soul. You sell your soul to the road. You sell your soul to those stages. You sell your soul to those crowds. Any free single time you bomb, you got to get up and do it again. And if ain't bombing ain't for you, if you ain't got the thick skin for it, then...
There you go. But I don't know.
Stick to this, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I don't want to even agree to that. I'm just going to do whatever I want.
That's cool.
That's how I feel.
That's how I feel, too.
Because, like, I don't know. You have to, like, sell out a lot of seats to make a lot of money as stand-up, you know?
Right.
But if I get 100,000 views, like, I get $3,000.
That's what's up.
So it's just like, those are the things. That's, like, I haven't told you I haven't done stand-up either. Those are some of the things that makes me feel like I'm addicted to making funny stuff online.
Yeah.
Because the reach, they just send you digital money.
Yeah. The reach is there. It's, easier to make money for sure. Because let me tell you, with doing stand-up, I could drive 7 fucking hours and they pay me like $50.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
Who does?
But you got to do that shit.
Tell me, I'll expose it.
Literally every fucking, any club in America will pay you like that.
So do you think, and this is why I'm going to ask you this, because I did that, what's it called? The improv with the weed and stuff.
Yeah.
Do you think that they pay you according to your following? Because I got paid $300.
Okay.
I told them I've never done it. I said, I'm scared.
Yeah.
And I don't even, like, I said every true thing to this man, right? And he was like, you know, you gotta go. And he sold me, because it was the first weed bar. And I just liked that. And I wanted to experience that.
I do think that is a huge factor. But we're talking about, like, completely different things, because improv is very different. Because with stand-up, you have a showcase, right? So there's, like, a headliner. Well, if you're at headliner status, you're going to be getting paid more anyway. It doesn't matter, like, following or not. Obviously, like, if you have a following, you're going to be playing bigger clubs, which means more money, because that means more head. More like, you know, money per head.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Both thumbs up. So, yeah, I mean, the business aspect of it, it's different in every city, state, situation, scene. Like, the rule of thumb is at least $2 to $3 per minute. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, let's say we had Robert Kelly just come through. He made a pretty penny because it's Robert fucking Kelly. Yeah. He sold out our room 2 shows back to back. You know what I'm saying? So, like, those are door deals. Those are like, here's a guarantee, or you can do a door deal. There's also buyouts.
Oh, for the artist?
This is a whole thing.
You mean for the artist?
Yeah.
Why don't you break it down, dude?
I mean, we could. I'm just saying,
Hit me
like,
with some inside baseball.
It's just different for every situation. It's kind of nuts, for real. Like, we had Lisa Traeger come through. She's been on Netflix and whatever. She's got a bunch of credits. She's been doing it for 10 plus years. She's a fucking killer. And she came through and she's like, well, I'm not going to even step foot on an airplane except until I get, like, X amount of money. So even up front, like, she got her money up front. Mm. And we were like, all right, bet. But I knew, because I'm the one that booked that show, I knew that she would sell out. And she did. So to me, it was, like, worth it. Like, we can give her a buyout.
For the drinks? Or
no,
exposure?
No, just for her to come and, like, do a set. Like, do a weekend with us.
So who gets the door money? Do you get the door money?
So we're a nonprofit. Not every club works like this. We're a nonprofit. We're underneath Planet Ant. I don't know if you're familiar with Planet Ant in Hamtramck. They've been around for like 25, 30 years. They're originally an improv building. That's where like Keegan-Michael Key and Matt Richardson or whatever the hell is from the Detroiters. Okay. Those 2 guys, they got their start there. Tim Robinson.
Okay.
They're all these improv sketch guys, and they started there in Detroit, and now they're like fucking famous as shit. You know what I'm talking? Do you know who I'm talking about?
I don't know those 3. You like called me out. We could have kept it rolling. Why'd you say anything?
You know Key and Peele?
Yeah.
Okay, so Keegan-Michael Key is that guy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, then I do know him.
And the Detroiters is a show on Comedy Central, and then Tim Robinson went on to get his own show on Netflix. And
does he have a slick name that I might know him by, like the other one?
Nah.
Okay, I didn't know.
Nah.
So I might have known him.
Yeah. We're paying more attention to the black dudes than the white dudes. Tim Robinson's white. So.
Oh, he's a white guy.
Yeah, white guy.
Next.
Next, yeah.
No, I'm kidding. I'm joking.
Canceled. Yeah.
That's hilarious. My biological father's a white man, so.
Really?
For sure.
Dang.
Yeah.
Your mom's got some strong genes, I see.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's where we're under. We're under their umbrella, and it is a nonprofit, the entire building. So we don't get any of that money. That money just goes right back into the arts. So it goes back into, like, us putting on larger shows or, like, buying more nicer chairs or buying more sound equipment or, so on and so forth. Like, the employees don't make money.
Employees do not get a paycheck.
Correct. Unless I'll get paid if I host a show. I'll get paid if I do a set. Because we have a budget for that, right? But if I'm not on stage or if I'm not working the sound booth, I don't get an hourly, you know?
Okay.
We do it for the love of stand-up.
That is cool.
And for the love of, like, growing the scene in Detroit, because the scene in Detroit went under in, like, the 90s, I want to say. and it never really came back. And then just recently, for the past like 5 years, it's been growing and growing and growing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I only saw it with a bunch of clubs and stuff. I didn't know.
Right. Yeah.
I always thought like you could do open mics every night here.
Yeah.
Like I'll be listening to like Joe Rogan and they'll be like, LA is so unique though because you can do open mics every night.
Yeah, and you're like,
you do that here.
Yeah, you can do that here for real.
I'm gonna talk to you guys today about online-therapy.com. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I used to have a therapist in IRL out there. I used to have one, and I had her for years. Okay, she was very near and dear to my heart, and also helped me get through many challenging scenario situations, staying sober, clean, and on the right track. You guys want to know something? Once I found out about online-therapy.com, you know what I did? I picked up the phone. I picked it up and I said, hey, therapist, suck off. All right? Peace. That's what I did, ladies and gentlemen. Then I slammed the door. I walked out of there and I never looked back. I love getting my therapy online, and you guys will too. Make sure that you sign up with online-therapy.com. Make sure you tell them that Randy Savagery Show sent them your way. Like I have a Facebook group that will tell me.
Yeah.
It pops up and says like open mic.
A lot of really great comics come from Detroit, but they're now out in LA and New York.
Really?
You know, so
I don't know.
Now we're like this like whole new generation of people who are like trying to get it back.
Yeah.
You know?
I know that I like New York people, but I don't know if they're from there. Like that whole gas digital scene.
Yeah.
I like almost all of them for something that they do.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So like, I love New York comics.
Yeah, they're so good.
Yeah, I think they're hilarious.
But I fuck with LA comics too.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, let's make them fight. East Coast, West
should.
Coast. What do you think?
Absolutely.
Who's killing it right now?
I think I don't know. I really like Chrissy D.
Oh,
Chris Stefano. What a fucking goofball, man.
But he's New York.
He's New York, but he's out in LA now.
Yeah, but
and then he moved
New
back.
York. He's from there.
He did move back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
He got his chops there, you know.
Yeah, a lot of LA comics, you know, like Bobby Lee's LA. A lot of the women that I follow are out in LA. Obviously, like Whitney Cummings, Lisa Traeger's LA.
I do like her.
Yeah, she's great. Annie Letterman. Do you fuck with Annie Letterman?
I like her on podcasts.
You're like, I like Kim Congdon, and that's...
I love Kim Congdon.
I knew you would, dude.
Oh.
You and every other motherfucker on the internet, dude. If you live on the internet, you want to fuck Kim Congdon so bad.
She's fire. But
also, like, hashtag same, so.
I mean, she's fire, but also, like, oh, man, it's just skipping my mind. Like, the Wild 'N Out girl. I love her. Maddie.
Yeah, Maddie. She's cool as fuck.
So you can't put me in no box. You know what I mean?
You're right. Yeah. Okay. Okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
She's fire. She's very, very funny.
She's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's out there too. I don't really know. I guess New York would probably have to take it for the men. I would say, you know, you got a lot of the legends out in New York.
Right. Well, you said Bobby Lee. Is that who you're referring? I don't know those girls.
Yeah,
I know.
so
actually,
like,
I did know two of the girls you said.
So Bobby Lee, little Asian fucker.
Yeah, I think he's so funny.
He's hilarious. There's Bobby Lee. There's Andrew Santino. They have Bad Friends together.
Oh yeah, he is.
Andrew Santino is so fucking. Did you watch his special on Netflix yet?
Nope.
Okay, you gotta watch it. It's called Cheeseburger. Okay. Best special I've seen in a really long time. Not bad for a ginger. He killed that shit. For real. He killed that shit. So I like them a lot. And then I'm trying to like rack my brain for who else is out there. Obviously, like Joe Rogan, it was an LA comic for a long time. Then he's now taken over Austin, as we all know. Yeah. Tim Dillon, same scenario. He's in between LA and Austin.
He's a New York comic.
Yeah, right. But they like moved and then became these fucking LA comics, and that's almost like where they found a lot of their fame was out in LA.
You're correct.
Doing these like podcasts and shit, right?
Yes.
Bill Burr, obviously East Coast, now is in LA.
He's in LA, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of the New York comics move out there.
I'll give you Bill Burr.
Yeah, that's my boy.
Yeah, I'm saying, no, what I'm trying to say is if you're from New York, I'm keeping you in New York because you got your chops there. And your comedy is so funny. Like, I saw Tim Dillon, like, man, he's a New York comic. Everything is that stuff.
Sure.
He's not like, I don't know. I like all of it, though. Like, I like really conservative comedy when it's done right, too. Yeah. That's the thing. Like, I love when they tear apart Trump. I love when they do stuff against the right type of thinking.
Sure. Well, that's where like this new age is coming in at, right? So like you got Shane Gillis and you got people like Andrew Santino, or even like Andrew Schultz a little bit does this too. Like they kind of play on as if they're like Republicans, and it's like this whole like satire of a fucking art, you know, like where they pretend like they're on that side, and then they're like sarcastically like underneath just like making fun of these fucking rednecks and these Republicans, but then they don't get it. Like the audience that they're building doesn't understand that they're actually secretly making fun of them.
Yeah.
But they're like obsessed with them.
Yeah.
So they just keep like feeding this machine of like, oh, you guys love this shit. Especially like Shane Gillis, you know,
Shane
like
Gillis.
He'll like play into this whole like, I'm a white dude, so like fuck black people, and you know, and like they fucking love it. But then he's like, I'm actually joking. I like love everyone, and he's actually very sweet.
Yeah, he seems sweet.
But as we all know, he was famously fired from SNL for
a Chinese joke
saying
or something.
like chink or something.
I don't know.
His words, not mine.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Chink in the armor. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
No, yeah, I love Shane Gillis. Let me steal man it the other way though, and ask you this: is it possible that he does do all those things that you said, but at the end, he's tricking the comics that think that, and he really loves conservatism, loves Trump. He went to Mar-a-Lago.
He did go.
I mean, it's not easy.
Want to know a crazy story?
That's what we do here.
Do you know who Sean Patton is?
You have to show me a picture because I know the name, but I don't know the face.
New York comic, whatever. Headliner, has been doing it for like 20 years, whatever. He has Bill Burr's number in his phone. He came and headlined The Independent for us, and we stayed up with him till like 4 a.m. getting fucking hammered. Nice. He's like, dare me to FaceTime, blah, 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 dare me to, and we were like going down the line. I think he like FaceTime Joe DeRosa. He like FaceTime so-and-so and so, FaceTime Bill Burr. It's 4 a.m, whatever time that means, wherever Bill was, but doesn't answer. The one person who answers is Shane Gillis.
Nice.
And he's like, what are you up to? It sounds so fucking loud in the background talking to Shane. Shane's like, I'm at Trump's place. So we like talked to Shane while he was at that fucking party, or like there for that weekend or whatever he was. And then I remember seeing like the following week, it was like that photo of him on Instagram in front of the house and like, looking like a fucking idiot up there. Yeah. And I was like, dude, we just talked to you while you were there. It's fucking wild.
That's so sick.
Yeah.
You guys like I would imagine freeze at the same time when he's like, I'm at Trump's place.
Oh, 100%. We all died. We all just like died of laughter, dude. It's like, of course Shane Gillis is at Trump's place right now.
I know. I love it. He's hilarious.
It was amazing.
But yeah, so what do you think about that though? Steelman it. Possible?
Possible. Anything's possible. I don't trust any of these white men anyway, you know what I mean? Like they could be just like pulling a fast one on us. Either way, I respect it. And either way, they're funny as fuck. Shane's one of my favorites, dude. Especially his sketch shit.
That was the right answer. I agree.
You know what I mean?
For me, I don't care. I hate and love all of them. Yeah. I hate and love it all. Dude, I can give you probably 100 reasons why they should impeach Biden, and then the other way.
Absolutely.
They all corrupt. It's about this money, baby.
That's right.
It's all about this. I'll like turn on the news. It's just, it always ends with like 36 million or billion. It's ending with moving the money around.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Like, if you're really that upset about politics or who won or who lost or whatever, how'd your bank account change? That's what I want to know. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we can like celebrate that Trump's out of office because of XYZ reason. But at the end of the day, I didn't become rich.
No.
I didn't got more money than when I started. I'm still broke as fuck. I'm still a villager. You know, like we're all still villagers regardless of who's in charge. They're all the fucking same.
I think I have to publicly actually state otherwise though, because I got
because you have a following.
No, free in the beginning, and that was all Biden, right? That's Biden's life. That's Biden life.
How'd you get that?
I for it.
Oh yeah, shit.
I know most people won't.
What'd you in there?
All of those things.
Really?
All the things that
Were you born here?
Yeah.
Oh, and you got
in Lansing.
Disgusting.
Yeah, my mom was born in southwest Detroit.
Okay.
But I was raised like in like really nice part of the suburbs.
She moved with the white man. Bet they always do. So did my aunt. That's why I'm in Michigan. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
People are like, what's your exotic ass doing in here? I'm like, I followed a white man here. Here we are.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, at least me personally, I'd say that I actually found a lot of different ways where I benefited from, like, you know, when there's like a change of the guard, there was like this feeling where it's like black, I don't know how to explain it. No, you're a comedian. Yeah. It's like you, for a while, you could be black and walk into like the store and just be like, fuck you, whitey, kick shit over.
Sure.
Like, woo! Like, you can't really, but it was like that, dude.
Yeah.
You could WWE through the motherfucker.
For sure.
So, there's just a lot of programs and stuff. There's a lot of things up for grab that people should have took advantage of. Like, you remember those PPL loans that people did and, like, went to prison because they did it for, like, their like, fraud?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Dude, if you defrauded them and got you to give you that money, why didn't you start the business?
Right.
Why didn't you just start it?
Yeah. What are you doing?
Throw it together, fail, and go bankrupt, bro.
Right. Shit. It's not that hard.
Because what you did must have been hard. You get $7 million from the government.
Right.
You did something hard.
Yeah.
They were writing and typing and making up lies and shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. That is nuts, dude. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, and then I would say during Trump, there wasn't like benefits everywhere.
Right. Well, yeah, because they're all like, it's our money and we want it now and we want to keep it.
Yeah, but it wasn't too bad either to me. There just wasn't. I wasn't getting stuff.
Right.
So.
Well, you're one of the lucky ones because I didn't even know that those things were offered. I would have been like typing away like fucking crazy if I knew that shit was offered. But
and you know what's funny? So I only dated one black girl in my life, and I'd always say stuff like that, and she would, and then I'd say, well, she'd say people don't know that stuff. Like if you're like, she's like, if you're like in the hood and stuff like that, you don't know these things. And I'd go, they have computers. I'd say they have cell phones. I always say that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And that's probably like 5 years back now. But I'm just thinking, yep, people don't know that stuff. And it's sad. I wish more people did.
Well, I mean, they're clearly not just like flaunting it. You know what I mean? On the news, they're not all like, everyone make sure we want to give you.
You're right. There is that.
Was this post-COVID or pre-COVID?
Right at COVID.
Oh, okay.
Once,
sorry, I keep hitting this mic.
It's fine. Once the Trump was gone, and like Biden was in.
The Trump?
Yep, he was out of there. Biden was in for maybe like 3 months or something, 4 months. And then like, So. Actually, I'm not going to say too much. I don't want to tell people. You're kind of putting me onto it. It's kind of secretive for a reason.
I guess so. Dominicans only.
No. Nah. I mean, so that one's gone. So it has new ones.
Okay.
So it's something. It is hard work, though. You know what I mean? Like tedious, annoying.
Absolutely. They make you go through the fucking ringer all the time. And
once you get them, you have to like, and then every month send them in.
Like proof and shit?
Oh yeah.
Receipts?
Your slave report. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. See?
Yeah.
I don't like that shit.
You don't have to pay them back though.
That is nice, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm over here like I'd rather suck dick for money or something.
Whatever works.
You know.
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
It's just I'd rather do paperwork than that for me.
Right.
I'm saying,
you'd rather do paperwork than suck dick. Yeah.
Yep. I ain't going that. Yep. But all right. So you told us when you first did stand up. Mm-hmm. When was like your most memorable times doing it so far? If you got them.
Oh, you really want to know? Okay, so worst bomb of my life. I was in Grand Rapids, Michigan, at this like Mexican bar, and when I say Mexican, I mean their fucking belt buckles are as big as their cowboy hats. They're fucking rancheros.
Oh, they're Laredo, like, Texas.
Yeah,
Mexican.
dude, they're like Mexican, right? And I got hired to do a set in Spanish, and I can speak Spanish, but not like that. Like, I'm not Tom Segura doing a Netflix special in fucking Spanish. No fucking way.
Did you just take it? Like, cause, like,
I just took it because I was like, I'm going to try it. You know what I mean? I've never done it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to write my notes out in Spanish, translate them, whatever. That shit bombed so hard, they were fucking booing me off stage, bro. I'm talking like 40 Mexicans, just a sea of Mexicans in their cowboy hats going, Música! Play the música! Like, they were booing me off stage. And you want to talk about, like, that's the kind of shit you'll experience, and you just brush it off, bro. One of the worst bombs of my life. And I got off that stage, and the booker was like, you could have switched to English. Like, she was really sweet about it, but she's like, you could have switched to English. You could have, like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, listen, I just wanted to get out of the situation. These people were angry at me. They didn't want to hear what I had to say. They wanted to dance. So pay me my money. Let's go take some tequila shots. And me and her did just that, and we got hammered. You want to know the worst part? All these motherfuckers that were booing me off stage, I got on the dance floor. I'm drunk. I'm having a good time, shaking my ass. They're all trying to fucking rub their little dicks on me and shit on the dance floor. I'm like, 20 minutes ago, you were booing me, motherfucker. I ain't touching your dick with nothing. You know?
Like, what's the problem?
Yeah.
Like nothing
What's
happened.
the problema? Like, fuck out of here, dude. The problema is you trying to fucking touch my ass right now.
Yeah, but that sounds really kind of typical, though.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
So there's like sets like that, and then there's like opening for David Tell at Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle, which is one of the most famous clubs in America, one of the longest standing clubs in America. And David Tell's been playing there for as long as he's been in the game. So, 20 years, 30 years, he's been playing there. He won't go to any theater or anything. He's, like, super loyal to these people, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, to the point where they let him smoke in the green room and shit. And so there's, like, sets like that where, like, it wasn't the best set of my life, but I'm sitting in a green room smoking a cigarette with David Tell.
Yeah.
You can't tell me nothing. I'm only been doing this for 5 years, and I'm smoking one of David Tell's cigarettes? Fuck out of here. So there's, like, sets like that are dope,
But also, did you record it?
Nah, I don't think so.
So, like, how do you know how bad you did?
Just because you live it, dude. What do you mean?
I don't know. I feel like everybody is more self-critical.
He said, I don't know.
Like, unless you're one of those broken people who will, like, be crappy and you're like, killed it. And, like, you're never, like, working on it.
Right. That's the delusion, dude.
But I'm saying most people are more hypercritical. Like you're skilled. I saw you. You have good jokes. They're funny. So that means you're critical. You're not the other way.
Sure. Yeah.
So
I don't know that most people are.
What? Oh, you're right.
Themselves.
I guess I meant comics. I meant people I've been around that are working on trying to do bits and stuff.
Yeah.
Either they're like
artists.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. You just kind of, you gauge it because a lot of those times, especially in professional settings, you're just running your jokes, your set the way that you've always ran it, right? It's not like, we were talking earlier about you saw Brandon Sagalo at the Shipping Co., right?
Brendan Sagalo.
Sagalo, sorry. I was trying to jazz it up, you know?
Fagalo. I'll jazz it up for you.
As we know. I love talking shit with him. He's so fucking good. But anyway, you went and saw him in a shipping container, and you're like, yeah, I was doing mostly crowd work. It's like, yeah, you take those gigs and you do the crowd work and you figure shit out, right?
Yes.
So if you get hired to play for David Tell, then you're like sticking to your shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the way you know that it didn't go so well is because, usually I get into like 5 minutes and 38 seconds in, and I tell this joke, and it always works. And for this time, it didn't work.
Laughs per minute.
For whatever reason, you know what I mean?
You have your laughs per minute. Yep. And they're not hidden. Okay.
You try to do stuff like that, sure. I don't try to dissect my set like that. I'm not that nerdy.
That is the term, though, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you are correct about that.
Who's that killed Tony Asian guy? The Asian kid. You know what I'm talking about? He's
Yeah. I can never remember.
Who cares? Actually, he's got enough press. Let's not say his name. But what I was trying to say is, have you seen his technical breakdowns?
No.
Yeah, he's one of those. I'm saying he is one of those people.
That's great.
It's crazy.
Some will argue like that's what makes a comic. But
a great comic?
To me, I'm like, just be funny.
You gotta be funny.
Whatever your equation looks like, you know what I mean? Like the way that when I first started writing my now I have like a good 30 minutes, right? But it's taken me 5 years to write a solid 30 minutes. My shit was on bar napkins. My shit was on, like, fucking tampon boxes and shit. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't sit down and do, like, the counting and the, like, I know how to tell a joke because of the whole, like, premise. You know what I'm saying? And then you have your punchlines. And then, I know the breakdown of a joke. But I'm not sitting at home, like, trying to make this equation happen.
Yeah.
I'm just up there, like,
living it.
Just have some fun with it.
You said it. Yeah, you live it.
You know?
Yes.
But that's just the kind of comedy I do. I make fun of my life. I make fun of my relationship with my family, where I'm from, like, my sexual experiences and shit. So it's all mine. It's not like I'm like an observational comic who's like, let me break down bubblegum for you and make it funny.
It's weird that you say that, though. What makes you say that, like, you can't write a set like that tomorrow, though? Why are you? Right? You know what I mean, though? Because you're like, you said, I'm not, but you could write a joke like that.
Name, I think. Something like that.
Oh, you're saying because he's heavy on the the observations.
Yeah. Well, not just that, but like he literally, you just said, like, he's got this whole like format or like notes of like the way he does it and constructs it. It's like, that to me just seems like very nerdy.
Tight.
But also like super professional in the same breath, right?
Also a part of his funny, that he's like this nerdy Asian twink or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kissed like 300 girls.
Yeah.
And now guys.
Ugh.
He's going that way.
We love that.
Yeah, I don't care.
Good for him.
Yeah, it don't matter. But it's funny.
Yeah.
It's very funny.
It's really good.
I do like that. All right. Will you hit them with your plugs again?
My plugs? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm on Instagram at Johanna.Medranda. I run the Independent Comedy Club, 313 Comedy, Honorary Mentions Comedy. I have Each Other's Mother's podcast. Make sure you check that out. And I am recording a comedy special April 14th at the Independent Comedy Club, which is going to be dope.
And you want people to show up?
Yeah, of course.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Live taping, my friend.
That's the end of the show. Wrap it up.